Welcome back to the Boxing One podcast, where we talk all the underdeveloped stories in college basketball to NBA basketball, and I personally talk on the NBA draft cycle. And today, unfortunately, I'll be without Alec, but I will still be covering what our favorite topic would be the March Madness bracket. Not going to waste any more time. We'll just hop right on into it. And this is everybody's favorite pick or the thing. Everybody always typically picks the number one seed. Duke's not losing to Siena. Won't waste any more time. I do like this interesting pick here, though. Ohio State versus TCU. I think this is a 50-50. I think Ohio State's really playing well. TCU's definitely been playing well. I think this has come down a little bit to size. I think Tilly just has the advantage a little bit. Whether or not they're going to play through Tilly too much, I think they just have a better offensive player in Bruce Thornton there. I think John Mobley's still a little bit better than anything that TCU has. I'm going with them. I also like Tilly's size, like I said. Not going to waste too much time. I think Northern Iowa is also way smaller than St. John's. St. John's is way better than them. Not going to waste your time. Same thing here with Cal Baptist. I'm sure a lot of people in Kansas probably don't even know where that is. We're still going to go Kansas here. This is where it gets interesting. It's pretty cool that I waited till this is Wednesday night when I'm recording this, so the games will be tomorrow. But Michael Brown has officially been ruled out. He will not be playing tomorrow against USF. I was going to have USF upsetting them either way. I think they have a really good team. They have a really good work ethic. They play really hard. They fight really hard every night in and out. I think they track. I think it's blue collar points. I think they call it for their team. Just hustle points, getting on the floor, points like deflections that lead to extra points, extra possessions, all the things that any other statistical metric system wouldn't really measure. But they have guys in their coaching system, their staff, they're obviously taking care of that, and they have their own system. So according to them, they're really good at that. Personally, the eye test, they look really well. They have the All-American Player of the Year in Isaiah Nelson to center. I think he's going to dominate. And what's his name? Sadama Furu. We'll see what happens. I still am going to go with USF. First major upset, I guess. Next, I'm not going to waste your time again. Michigan State's going to kill North Dakota State. Not going to really waste your time there. This is another one. I saw somebody personally place like the $16,000 bet on UCLA the other day. It's going to be really tough when you see UCF is going to come in and upset them. I think the height with John Bull, I think they're just going to find a way to win this game. It's going to be really ugly, I think, from both teams. I think Donovan Dent's going to have a really good game. We'll see what happens with UCF. I think Stillwell. I think that's what's his last name. Stillwell. I think that's his last name. I think he's gonna be a swing factor in this. Tyler Bindelow. Man, butchering all the last names tonight, but it'll be interesting his matchup. I think Eric Daly Jr. It's gonna be an interesting matchup also with UCF. But I think they're just taller. I think they're just a lot bigger. I think their guards are just as good. Riley Krugel's gonna be really interesting in that game. I think that it's probably gonna go down the wire. I think height's ultimately gonna be a little bit of a difference. Rim protection, size. John Bull 7'3". I think that's ultimately what's gonna win them this game. Not gonna waste your time again. UConn's winning. Furman's not beating them. We're not gonna waste the 16 seed. Florida's not losing. This is another interesting Clemson versus Iowa. Not really the biggest fan of either one of these teams. I think Iowa's really Bennett Sturts heavy. I know they have a couple other players on that team, but this is another 50-50 toss-up. I'm going to go personally with Iowa. I think they just have the best player in that game overall on the court, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick the better team, from what I believe. Another huge major upset. I think Vanderbilt, which was really overlooked, SEC tournament was played in Nashville. I know they really did beat up on Florida the other day, but I think I don't know. I think that's anybody's game, and I really do like McNeese. I think they've been in the tournament the past few years. I think they're definitely due for a win, and I like it to break a lot of people's hearts, to break a lot of brackets. I'm going McNeese in this one, and this is a tough one too. I think Nebraska's been really good this year. They've been a fan favorite. I think they had the best start for their school history. 21-0, maybe they went 22-0. Either way, they were a fun team to watch earlier in this. They still are a fun team. They're going to get a lot of 3-point shots. I think the Campbell brothers are going to be really interesting. Cooper Campbell, more or less, is going to be really interesting to see in this game. I think this is also going to come down a little bit to height and just, I think the Sun Belt Conference just obviously isn't as good as what the schedule that Nebraska's be playing. Uh, not gonna. I think this is going to be a lot closer than people think. Troy versus Nebraska, but I am going to pick Nebraska. This is an interesting one here too. I think since Caleb Wilson's going down, I think this still could be a decent game. I think North Carolina is still going to be really decent against VCU here, but man, I do want to pick VCU. I think they definitely have the size to match up with North Carolina. I'm going VCU. Illinois Penn. I think this is also going to be really interesting. TJ Power had 44, I think, the other day in the Ivy League championship. Crazy 3-point shot to send it to overtime. Illinois, just I know there's one of these 3 seeds just going to be in a really close game against the 14. I think it's going to be Illinois. I think this is going to be probably their hardest game of this weekend, and I do think they're going to win it personally, but we'll see. I think that's going to be a lot closer than what people think too. I have St. Mary's beating Buckyball. I don't think Texas A&M is really that good of a team. I think they really started to fall off towards the end of SEC play, or not towards SEC, maybe a little bit, but I really don't. Not the biggest fan of Texas A&M here. I'm going to pick St. Mary's. I think they're just going to play a lot more fundamental basketball. And I'm going to go with Houston here. I'm not going to waste your time on Iowa or Idaho. I'm not going to waste your time. LIU, I think it's a really cool story. Not going to waste your time again with Arizona. It's going to beat them. Now, Utah State and Villanova is going to be really interesting. MJ Collins is probably going to have to, say, maybe have 23 to 27 probably to beat Villanova here. I think a lot of people probably have this as an upset. I don't really think Utah State's as good as Villanova. I think they're probably this. I think this is probably like gonna be a 2-possession game. I really don't think that this is gonna be as big of a sweat as what people are really thinking. I'm going Villanova or Utah State. I think MJ Collins is gonna have to just carry that team and even keep a chance. Oh man, I wish Alec was here for this one. Wisconsin High Point. We talked about High Point a little bit in our first episode. I think if they would have potentially played anybody other than St. John's in Wisconsin, maybe they had a chance. I think Wisconsin's just playing too good right now. They have Nolan Winter coming back. I have this team potentially going far. Little preview. Arkansas over Hawaii. I'm not going to waste your time too much there. This could be a potential sell job for John Calipari. He loves to lose in the first round recently. Well, at least when he's wearing blue. But I am going to pick Arkansas. Texas squeaks in last night to play BYU. I'm not really the biggest fan of Texas. They're fun to watch sometimes when they're hitting, but they're all isolation players. It's kind of not the best basketball to watch unless they're all clicking. I think this is going to come down to Matas Volcantitis. I know, just crazy. I know I nailed that pronunciation, but I know I butchered a lot of other ones earlier. It's Matas Volcantitis. I know that's going to be a really interesting center to watch. I hate the bigs for BYU. I think they're just not the greatest. I think they really hurt AJ Devonce's statistical numbers. They hurt a lot of his assists. I feel like they're just not the greatest. I think I'm not going to even get into that, but I think this is definitely going to be interesting. But I do have BYU here. I think this is going to be. I hope that it's BYU. I think this is going to be a lot closer of a game than what people think too. Kennesaw State versus Gonzaga. I think this is going to be a lot closer than what people think, but this is going to come down to just size. Graham Ike. I don't think anybody's going to be able to guard him on Kennesaw State. I think their biggest players are like 6'8", 6'7", 220, 225. Good luck. I think Huff is still out, but I did hear that he potentially could be coming back. I don't think it's going to make a difference if he is here or not for Gonzaga. I think they're just going to be way bigger than him, beat them up. It's probably going to be a 30-point game. Missouri versus Miami. It's another interesting 7-10. I wish this would show. Is the Midwest, not Midwest, the West. I'm pretty sure this is played in Missouri. I'm going Missouri. It's a home court advantage, kind of what I touched on in Vanderbilt. Well, I think were good in the SEC tournament. I think Miami just kind of squeaked into this plot. Oh, they're not really playing the greatest basketball, in my opinion. They've turned the ball over a lot. They're not playing the greatest defense. Louisville definitely kind of hurt my chances on making Miami's run going that far, especially those games they played recently. I think Missouri has the size. I think they definitely have the player in Mark Mitchell to win this game. Give me Missouri, especially the home court. I think they're definitely going to pack that gym out. Not going to waste your time. I thought Queens was in New York. Did not even know that was North Carolina until I read it. Not going to waste your time. Going Purdue. And the last conference, Midwest, we're going Michigan over Howard. I think it's cool they made history last night. They won their first game in tournament history. You're not getting the second one this year. We're going Michigan. St. Louis over Georgia. That's my personal pick. I think Georgia just completely just fell apart towards the end of the year. I think they definitely do have a chance to win this game. It's really just going to come down to, I think, offense really for them. I mean, they really rebound. If Santo Surreal just balls out, I know his minutes have gone down. I haven't tuned into every single Georgia game. I won't lie to you. I'm not a Georgia fan, but I do like Santo Surreal a lot. Like Cannon Catchings a lot. Smurf Miller is really good. I do like their team a lot. I think they're just a little inconsistent. They've started to play a lot worse towards the end of the season. Santo's minutes have gone down. I don't know why. Give me Robbie Alvia. Get. I think this might be his first win, second win maybe in the tournament. Give me them to upset Georgia. Akron versus Texas Tech. I think this is going to be a lot closer of a game, especially with Christian Anderson. I don't think is going to be at 100%, but I still have to go with the better team in this game. I know it's probably not the biggest thing with the upset, but or not an upset, but I'm going Texas Tech. Next, Hofstra, Alabama. I think this is the biggest one, or the biggest story in the past few days. Aiden Holloway getting arrested and eventually kicked off the team for days before the tournament. Found 2.1 pounds of marijuana in his in his I think apartment. Kicked out of school. I think he's facing some type of felony charge. Unfortunate. That's their second best player. If you don't know who Aiden Holloway is, he's coming in averaging 17 points. I think Speedy Claxton comes in. I think Cruz Diaz is going to be a big factor in this game. He's averaging 20 points coming in this game. He's had multiple 30-point games, and I think he definitely has potential to go off for one in the game where it's going to be high paced against Alabama. Give me Hofstra to upset Alabama. I think that's my biggest pick of this. This is interesting. SMU versus Tennessee. I think Nate Amend's still dealing with that little high ankle sprain, and I think it just got announced maybe an hour ago. BJ Edwards isn't going to be playing in this game. I still think SMU is going to be the team playing. That's why I'm saying that. Respect to Miami, Ohio, you probably should have got a bid, but maybe a 14th seed somewhere. I think it's kind of upsetting you have to play another strength of schedule team, whatever. I think they're going to get killed, and it's probably just going to hurt their name even more. But give me SMU to win this, and then I think Tennessee is going to win this game against SMU. I don't know if BJ Edwards comes back. If he comes back, I have them beating Tennessee. We'll see tomorrow, but he's not playing tonight. I don't like the chances playing tomorrow because you might not play tomorrow if you don't win this. So give me Tennessee. I'm going Virginia over Wright State. I think they just have really good bigs. Rulo, Onyensu. A little self plug. Go check out the Jaybird on YouTube. I made a video on Onyensu the other day. It's Jabiiird. Under the radar. A little self promo. I think Virginia is going to go far, but I'll touch on that in a second. Santa Clara versus Kentucky. This is definitely a really interesting one. Those who don't know, I'm a Kentucky fan in real life. Big Kentucky fan. It's going to hurt me. I'm going to have to pick against Kentucky. I don't see them winning this game. Santa Clara is a team that they gives themselves a lot of opportunities with heart. They just work really hard. They shoot the ball really well. I mean, this is kind of what Kentucky wants to be. Man, this is upsetting. They get up a lot of threes. They shoot it really well. They have some good guard play. They have a future first round pick, I think, maybe this year, next year, in Allen Graves. It's going to play like their four for him. I think he's like 6'9", shooting 40% block steal a game, shooting 51% from the field. That's the name to look out for tomorrow or 2 days from now. And Edmonds, I think is the last name. They're going to beat us probably. It's upsetting, but Kentucky, you had a pretty terrible year. We'll leave it at that. It wasn't the greatest. Iowa State's going to beat Tennessee State. Now we're into the round of 32. Duke Ohio State's I think it's going to be a really interesting game. I think Duke's going to squeeze out probably with a 7 to 8 point win. I think everybody's just going to come at Duke's head. People are saying this is going to be a lot closer of a game than what they think. I don't understand why people think Kansas is a lot better than what they are. I know Darren Peterson has a big name. It'd be really cool to see the Darren Peterson, uh, Cameron Boozer matchup. I don't think it's going to happen. I think St. John's is going to beat them by like 10 plus. I think they're really good this year, especially if they're shooting the ball well. And I think they got a couple guards that can shoot the ball well. Zuby maybe steps out and hits one. Sellers might give you one. I don't see them beating. I think they're going to put Dylan Mitchell on Darren Peterson. They're going to have a fun time with that. So leave it at that. Going St. John's. Michigan State USF, and I think this is very interesting here. I think especially after last year, where there's all the favorited teams won out, and I think there's a lot of fans probably aren't expecting an upset. This USF team's really good. They have, like I said, the American Player of the Year, and Isaiah Nelson. He's a big defensive player. Wes Ennis, I didn't talk about him, but he's leading them in scoring. He's going to get up a lot of 3-point shots. This is a team that's going to work hard. They're going to play Michigan State basketball. I think if they control the defensive boards like Michigan State typically does, dude, this is gonna be a good game. I think Michigan State versus USF, and if Michigan State can't shoot the ball, which I'm really projecting them not to be able to shoot the ball in this game, I was hoping they give me a 3-point percentage, but nope, we're going USF. Shocker, USF to the Sweet 16. That's me. I'm calling it now. That's going to be a good storyline. UCF, I think they have the greatest part of their season in upsetting UCLA. Unfortunately, you get stuck with the hardest part of this bracket, and you now have to play UConn. UConn's going to kill them in this game, unfortunately, but I think they definitely had a good year. I think you get John Bowl back. Jordan Burks hopefully comes back. I don't know if they have any recruits. The transfer portal is going to be really interesting to see what they do with Coach Dawkins there, too. I'm going UConn. Great season from UCF, honestly, though. Next, we'll have Iowa versus Florida. I think Iowa, again, I'm not really too big of a fan of them or Clemson. This is probably this is probably going to be my only pick, Ron, to be honest with you. Is probably because I picked Iowa just because I watched them a bit more than Clemson. I think whoever wins this game, this is the best. This is their championship of the season. They're losing to Florida probably by 20 or 30. And we're going to leave it at that. McNeese, same thing. I know I talked about him with Troy. I think this is going to be a close game. This is going to be really interesting. Actually, I don't think it's going to be the same thing. I think McNeese might have a chance to. They might have a chance to beat Nebraska. They have a really good freshman this year in Larry Johnson. They have Garway Dual. I think he played at Providence first, and then he went to Seton Hall last year. He's a former 5-star. Or 4-star, my bad, sorry. Defensive guard, playmaking guard. He's probably like 6'4", 6'5", 6'6". Larry Johnson was just unheard of. He came from Creighton last year. I don't know how he redshirted. Now he's one of the best players on this McNeese team. I think Nebraska is going to squeak it out, but I think this is going to be a lot closer a game again from McNeese. Illinois versus VCU, I think this is, again, one of the easier games. VCU is really not the greatest. I think they're just luckily playing a North Carolina team that's also just really banged up. I think the Twin Towers and the Twin Brothers and the Visich twins, I think the guard play from Kylan Boswell as well as Keaton Wagler. I mean, there's not going to be much you're able to do, especially with Stojakovic, whether he's starting or coming off the bench. They got 7 or 8 guys that are really just every single one is better than every single person on VCU. I know they have an interesting guard play, but a couple of bigs. Give me Illinois. Again, I'm not going to waste too much time. I think a lot of people are expecting Houston to go pretty far. I'm not the biggest fan of Houston. I think just St. Mary's and Texas A&M. I'm just not the biggest fan of them either way. I think your season ends essentially coming in to play this 2 seed. I think I did the same thing for each bracket. Kind of a little bit boring, but sorry. I think this is just the South is just the weakest of this the entire thing. And I think they're just it's going to play out. But everybody's expecting it to be. I think this Villanova Arizona game is going to be really interesting. I think Villanova, you definitely have a really good year building into. I mean, Villanova was really bad a couple of years ago, but I just don't see them beating Arizona. To be honest with you, I think Arizona is just way better than them. I think this is another upset here. Wisconsin just playing really well, and again, if they get Nolan Winter back, another 7-footer to throw in the mix, I think Arkansas's really been hot with Darius Acuff. Malik Thomas has been playing really well. Trevin Bill's been playing really well. Malik Ewan's been playing really well too. But I think Wisconsin they just been defying all odds, and I have them here. I honestly think they might beat Arizona in the next round, but I have them here beating Arkansas. Next we have BYU Gonzaga. This is gonna be a really good game too, and I touched on it a bit with the bigs. I don't know if Huff's gonna play this game. I don't know if he's playing this game for Gonzaga. The bigs for BYU just suck. They brought the guy from the G League. He sucks. And Bop or Bong or I can't remember his last name. Number 7, I think it is. Terrible. Just out there rebounding. If he's doing that, I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of BYU's bigs, but maybe they beat Gonzaga. I really do think they're going to beat Gonzaga. I don't think Gonzaga's the greatest team. I don't think they play anybody. And I think they're going to squeak out of this round, and this is going to be an upset. I have BYU going here. Purdue versus Missouri. And again, I think some home court advantage is going to play into here. They're going to be able to match up really well with Purdue. They have the size. They score really well. I hate these numbers. None of those mean anything to me. I hate analytics. I mean, that means nothing. If you watched Missouri play, I think they definitely deserve to probably be a little bit higher than the 10 seed, especially the SEC tournament. I think this is going to be a really good game. If they could stop Trey Kaufman-Renn and maybe put Anthony Robinson on Braden Smith and you slow him down and he has one of those Braden Smith games where he doesn't score for like a half, give me Missouri. I think that's going to be an interesting game. Michigan's just way better than everybody. I'm not going to really waste your time here with St. Louis. I think they're just going to kill them. It'll probably be like maybe an 8 to 10 point, 12 point game. I think Michigan's just way better than a lot of teams in this. I think same thing with here. Wait, actually, no, they don't have JT Toppin. I don't know why I keep on remembering thinking they have JT Toppin. I can't pick Hofstra, can I? I don't know the health standards for or like the status for Christian Anderson right now. It's gonna be really interesting to see if Christian Anderson plays. I don't know if he's gonna play, and I think for that or not that he's gonna play. I don't know if he's gonna be at 100. Man, that's tough between him and Hofstra, Texas Tech and Hofstra. I'm gonna pick Texas Tech, but I don't like that pick. I think Hofstra might be able to win that game. I think Virginia's way better than Tennessee. I think here in this Tennessee is just not the greatest team in the world. Nate Ament and Jacoby Gillespie are really your entire team, I feel like. And if Nate Ament's not the healthiest, Virginia's really good too. I mean, I think they should have beat Duke the other day, but a couple missed possessions. Duke's also really good. I think Virginia's has a chance to win it, honestly. I think Santa Clara or Kentucky, if they get to this point, they're not beating it. Iowa State. Iowa State's just way better than them. Are they though? Honestly, I don't know. Maybe they aren't. I think they're just going to depend on 3-point shooting. I'm going to go with Iowa State there. All right, here St. John's and Duke. I think this is going to be a really interesting game too. Now we're getting into the Elite Eight. This is where things start to matter. St. John's Duke. Man, I think I'm going to go Duke. I think I'm going to go Duke over St. John's, to be honest with you. I think I'm going to go Duke. No, I'm going to go Duke. I'm going to go Duke. We're going to go Duke. I don't think St. John's is going to beat Duke. I just don't see them shooting the ball well enough to beat Duke. This does depend on Ngumba, too, if he comes back. I mean, I hope he'd be back by the Elite Eight. I don't know if he'll be playing against Siena, but we'll see. I haven't heard anything. UConn, I think, ends the magical run here from UCF. USF. What? Yeah, USF. University. Yeah, USF. I don't know why I got that one mixed up for a second, but yeah, UConn's just going to beat them. They're not the greatest compared to UConn. I think UConn's just really good team, and I think they honestly might have a chance to win another championship 3 and 4 years, but we'll see in a second. I think this is also going to be a really good game. I think Florida's just ultimately the three bigs, the four bigs. If you want to throw Micah Haglockton into the mix, Condon's really good. He killed Kentucky the other day. He's really good. Why am I blanking? Ruben Chenyulu. I don't know why I wanted to call him Oscar Sheway. Baby Oscar Sheway, really, but we're gonna go. Ruben Chenyulu is just gonna kill for rank mask. It's not gonna be really. It's gonna be pretty hard to watch, honestly, unless they can stay in the game of 3-point shooting, and Florida just has a stinker and shoots three of whatever, four of whatever. I think this is gonna be a blowout once again. Now this is gonna be a really interesting game. Houston, Illinois. Man, I want to go Illinois. I'm not the biggest Houston fan. I think they're just not big enough. I know Illinois can't guard. They can't guard me, but I'm going to go Illinois. I think that's going to be a shootout. Back to the top over here, Wisconsin versus Arizona. I personally am going to pick Wisconsin. I think they're just a team that's just been defying all odds, and I think this is the team that one of these teams just have to go on the run. It's not really going to make any sense, whatever I'm going to say either way. I think they have the height to match up. I think Arizona's definitely just going to get worn out essentially throughout this matchup. I think they've battled through all these games. They've won a lot of these tough games through this year. I think Wisconsin's also won a lot of those games, and I think if they get a healthy Nolan winner back here, this can be really interesting to see. I have Wisconsin going to the is this the Final Four? No, this will be the Elite Eight. We're in the Sweet 16. My bad. Michigan versus Texas Tech. Really going to be interesting here. I think Michigan is just way better than an unhealthy Texas Tech team. I think they probably stay in a little bit longer just because they earn themselves a 5 seed. We're going Michigan. Now here, like I said, I do think Virginia is really good. I think they have really good bigs. I think Onyensu is going to lock down the paint, and this is Iowa State's a team that just can't shoot. They have one player that's really good at shooting, and then the rest of the team it's really not. You have Joshua Jefferson, who's kind of the swing player. Milan Mocilovic, he's probably going to put up maybe 2 or 3 threes, but teams have recently found out if you just don't leave him and you just have a guy glued to him at all times, he can't really do anything else on offense. And he doesn't really do anything else on the court, to be honest with you. So for that reason, I think Virginia has the defensive versatility to put somebody on him and do something like that. I think it's just really going to come down to Tamin Limpsey and Joshua Jefferson. And if you guys aren't hitting 3-point shots, those two guys aren't hitting 3-point shots, they're not going to get to the basket. I'm telling you that. Gruel and Onyensu are going to have maybe 5 combined blocks in this game. And for that reason, I'm going Virginia. Now we're in the Elite Eight. Oh, I skipped over the BYU Missouri game. My bad. BYU and Missouri. Now, Missouri does lose their home court advantage now. I think this would be an awesome story for AJ DeBonce to get 3 more now, which would be 4 more college basketball games, because I don't see them losing to Missouri. That's a great matchup, BYU, Wisconsin. Duke and UConn. I'm going to save that one, actually. We're going to go Wisconsin, BYU. I think Wisconsin's just going to beat BYU here. They're just way better than them at this point. BYU's not the greatest team. I think they're missing Richie Saunders. Honestly, I think they have a pretty easy path considering Gonzaga is really like a 9 seed. They're really not a 3 seed, like team-wise. So you get essentially 9, 10, 11 on your path, and then you eventually play Wisconsin. But that's a really great season, and I have them losing in this round, but we get 4 extra games of AJ DeBonson. I think a lot of fans will be happy with that either way. Michigan versus Virginia. And I really like Virginia in this game. I think the center game is. I think they're just really good. They have a lot of good guards too. Dalen Hall's really good. Or is it Chance Mallory? Yeah, Chance Mallory, 5'9" guard off the bench, a former 4-star freshman. Who else? Sam Lewis is really good. Kari White off the bench. I really do like Virginia. I think the injury to LJ Cason's probably going to affect this team a little bit more. I know Yaxel Lindenberg Borg is dealing with an ankle injury too. I mean, they're in a day more ankle sprain away from really any. I guess any game. I guess I can't really say that, but I don't know. I think especially with this, they have a little bit easier matchup, but maybe they lose a little bit of focus. I have Virginia winning this game. I think this is gonna be a really good game too here. Florida versus Illinois. I think they match up really well. I think they both have really good size. I think Chenyulu's still going to kill them down low. This is going to come down to shooting, and I think Illinois is just a better 3-point shooting team, and I think Florida's way better defensively. But if they can't shoot, but they also were really hot, and then they just had one bad game. I'm going with Florida. I think 1 seed eventually has to make it. Now this is where it gets tough because I have UConn winning it, and I also thought I think my last episode, or the first episode we talked about, I think Florida was going to win it after they killed Kentucky. Now they cooled down. They lose to Vanderbilt. I mean, that's interesting. Man, I think they do beat Duke. UConn does beat Duke here. I think Duke just eventually, with the injuries of Kittle Foster, Patrick and Gutman might be out. Relying on Caden Boozer to be your main playmaker. Or both the Boozers, I guess, because he's not a main ball handler. I just don't see Duke beating UConn. So now my final four is UConn, Florida, Wisconsin, and Wisconsin, Florida, UConn, and Virginia. That's interesting. I'm gonna go with Virginia over Wisconsin. I think Wisconsin's run just ends. I think Virginia's really good. And that's a tough one. UConn versus Florida. I really do like both of these teams. I think this is going to come down to shooting between them. I don't know why I keep looking at this. Those really mean nothing to me. I'm going to go UConn, and this is going to come down to coaching. I don't think a first-year coach is going to win a championship. For that reason, I'm going to have UConn. That's crazy. This is my first time I've filled out a bracket. I tried to save it for this so I can have a full live reaction. You can hear the thought process and everything. It wasn't forced. This is all very interesting to me now that it's all played out and I still have UConn winning it. And I've projected them to win in December. Oh, man. That's really interesting. I do think they're going to win it. And we'll see you guys in the next couple weeks. I guess I'll leave it off there. I will probably touch in. I hope Alec is back for Monday. If not, I will be touching on recapping. I guess we'll probably pick back up. We'll pick right where the Sweet 16. We'll continue this and we'll try to mock it and get it perfect from there if it's not already perfect. What am I talking about? It's already going to be perfect. But if not, this video will be up on YouTube. I'd say it probably will be a little bit better to watch on YouTube to have the visual representation. But if not, I do appreciate you listening to on Spotify if you did listen to it there. But I think that's all for me. We'll catch you next time.